Stick time. Stick out. Stick time. Stick out. Stick time. Stick out. Stick time. Stick time.
And hockey.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back, everyone. This is episode 17 of Stick Talk Hockey. I'm your host, Tiko Raspy, and back with us, our favorite co-host.
I'm yours truly.
Sorry, Bandman.
It's good to be back.
Yeah, it's good to have you back.
We're tired of the Red Wings.
Yeah, we're tired of the Red. One episode was enough.
Yeah. Snore. I'm kidding. You did a great job, bud. Thanks for filling in.
Yeah, no, we're joking, of course. Jackson, thanks for coming by. It's trade deadline was yesterday. We did a live episode on TikTok, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a howl. I had a great time. A lot of great people dropping into the chat. Good questions. Good convo.
Yep, absolutely. So we're going to take some time now and go back over everything. If you want to check out our live, it is on YouTube, but we'll give you the rundown here.
Yep, absolutely. We'll go front to back. We're going to throw in a couple big ticket items right off the bat, though.
Yeah, of course. Your guys' big Devils acquisition, Timo Meier.
God, it's exciting.
So, New Jersey Devils acquired Timo Meier, Scott Harrington, Timu Ibragimov. I'm sorry, I'm going to ruin some of these names. Santeri Hataka, Zachary Emmond, and a 2024 fifth-round pick from the San Jose Sharks for Andreas Johnson, Shakir Mukhamadullin. Thank you very much. Fabian Zetterlund, Nikita
Okachuk? I don't know that one.
I think it's
Okachuk?
something like that. 2023 conditional first-round pick, conditional 2024 second-round pick, and a 2024 seventh-round pick.
It's a lot.
It's a monster deal.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, there's a whole lot going on there, but I mean, honestly, any time that you can acquire a piece like that and not have to give up any of your biggest prospect chips or biggest draft picks, it's a win.
Oh, it's an absolute win. Like the fact that they were only really giving up a conditional, they gave up a couple different conditionals. Like there's a whole lot like leaning on this as well. You're looking at a 50-point score already in the season. He's pretty much a point per game player, 31 goals on the season. Joins the Devils as the second leading goal scorer already, right behind Jack Hughes, who's having a monster year. Like that's the type of bolstering they need right now. And the fact that they were able to swing this without losing Dawson Mercer, without losing Nemec, without losing any of like Holtz, any of those big prospects that they'd already been sitting on and had hype around.
Monster deal.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's huge for them. I mean, I don't know what he's going to be asking. Worst case scenario, though, like truly, if we're going to look at the worst case scenario, you give him his qualifying offer and you trade him away at the end of next year, or even at this draft class, he's still going to have value. But I mean, I think he's going to be a long-term piece here.
He might be, honestly. The Devils said that they're looking to add one more long-term big piece to their organization. I'm not sure if this is the piece that they're looking at. This might be more of a trial run. The Devils are very tiptoey around who they want to put their chips in right now.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
Of course.
Especially when you look at how much they have going for them in a good way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Vanacek's turned out amazing.
Yep.
Hughes is turning out amazing. Heischer's having another great year at center. Dawson Mercer is now the Devils' score of 8 consecutive games, holding a record and still feasting. You gotta love it.
You do have to love it, and I mean, you'll have to see, of course, how he fits in over these next few months. It's not a lot of time to really get acclimated, but I mean, if he gets going, him and Hughes together is going to be just a problem for the NHL.
Oh, absolutely. Honestly, I always thought of Timo Meier as just a better Andre Palat, and Andre Palat has been producing with the Devils right now. So I think he's going to fit in really, really nice. The fact that we already have so much more depth going down to that second, third line now, it's getting mean. Yeah. I'm not sure if they're gonna win out with this arms race. It's gotten pretty dangerous. It's still looking like one of the smaller hands at the table.
Yeah.
But it's really nice to see moving forward that the Devils are willing to put their money where their mouth is.
Yeah,
and
I agree with that.
In these players.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so for each of these trades, we're going to give both teams a letter grade.
Yep.
I'm feeling an A for the Devils.
Yep, I give an A. They managed to keep all their firsts. They managed to keep all of their big prospects. That's awesome. And I give the Sharks a B+, honestly.
Yeah, I'm gonna give them an A as well. Yeah, you get 4 players, including some guys that have some upside down the road. You get a first conditional, but a first round pick and a second round pick for an asset that you're just monetizing because you're no good. I'll give them an A on that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if I'm a Sharks fan and I'm looking at a true rebuild, which is what it's looking like at this point, I probably would have been more keen on the Blues and their 2 first-round picks because
Very fair.
Allegedly speculating, the Blues said that they were in very heavily and had 2 first-round picks at their disposal, ready.
That is what we're hearing.
And then some to make the deal better.
Yeah.
So, as a Sharks fan, I could see being a little bit upset about it. I'll drop it a grade and give it a B+. But
that's very fair. Very fair. All right, let's move on to the second trade from that day that really kind of stole your thunder a little bit. After all this Meyer stuff, no one saw a Tanner Jeannot trade coming.
No. Well, I mean, I heard it was rumored for a while.
Yeah.
I have him on one of my keeper leagues, so I've been keeping tabs on this guy a lot.
But, I mean, this price was not foreseen by anyone. The Tampa Bay Lightning acquired Tanner Jeannot from the Nashville Predators for Cal Foote, a 2025 first, a 2024 second, a 2023 third, a 2023 fourth, and a 2023 fifth. First, second, third, fourth, fifth.
Boy, do they know how to monetize.
Man, Tampa's amateur scouting department just gets to take the rest of the year off now, eh?
I guess so. They don't have much to really work with going into it.
No. So, I mean, this one, a lot of people obviously think it's an overpayment, and obviously, like, to an extent, like, on paper, it is an overpayment. That's a massive amount of draft picks to give up for a not top line player. But this is one of those situations where on paper doesn't actually tell the whole story.
No, it doesn't. This is a player that has so many tangibles. He's such
intangibles.
Intangibles. Sorry, yeah. He's just so rough around the edges, like, in a good way. Not that his game's bad. I mean that he is gritty. He is tough. He gets into the corners. He stands up for his teammates. Like, this is a guy that takes no crap.
Yeah,
he was leading the league in fights last year. He's he's second in the league in fights this year. Like, this dude is ready to drop the gloves for his team whenever he needs to. Whether it's to bring a spark or to fix someone's face because they were talking funny, whether they were in the goalie, whether they were in the star player, he's there for it.
And I think at a certain point, too, you have to look at these teams positionally as well. Like, Tanner Jeannot's a great player. That's a high price to pay for him still. But, I mean, when you're the Tampa Bay Lightning, you're in your window right now. It's closing on you quickly. Who cares about those draft picks? Truly.
Honestly.
Yeah.
And when you think about what the Tampa Bay Lightning had in their bottom 6 when they were contending for the Cup, and what they had in their top 6 when they were contending for the Cup, the top 6 in the core hasn't changed much at all. The only thing that's really changed is 2 or 3 years on their ages.
Yeah.
So they're just looking for another that piece in the bottom that provides the toughness that's going to wear down the other team, so they can do some line matching. They can play with some combinations.
And he'll be that. He'll be that for them, for sure.
Oh, for sure. And don't get it wrong either. Just because he's a tough guy and he plays the game so physically, he makes some good plays.
Yeah.
Like, he sees the game really well.
Yeah. For this one, I'm going to give Tampa a B on this. I think that it's a good move for them, and it makes a lot of sense. It is still a very high price, so I'll stick with a B on that, and an absolute A for the Nashville Predators. I mean, it's a monster return for him.
Yeah, absolute A for the Predators. That's undeniable. I love what they're doing. Their GM's heading out the door, Pohl, I believe.
Yeah, president. Yeah,
president. He's heading out the door, and he's still just leaving massive, massive chips and assets.
Yeah,
like, there's no way that Trotz isn't going into this and just absolutely licking his chops at what he can do. Like, if he fucks this up, there's no way that this doesn't just completely ruin his resume, because he 100%. Has been gifted a team.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting because I don't think Trotz has ever been a president before. This is his first shot at it.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting. I'm excited to see what sort of a team he builds in Nashville, given their history, given what they have right now. Really, the door's open to any type of hockey that he feels he wants to play.
Any type of team he wants to build, he kind of gets a chance to. Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah, and
what would you give Tampa there?
For Tampa, I'll give him a B. It's a little bit of an overpayment, but I do really like this player. I might be a bit biased, but I like it.
All right. And then next up, we got the other big one from before the deadline. Patrick Kane, the American hero, going to the Rangers. I know. Does that terrify you?
Yeah, I'm so
Are you shitting your pants right now?
like earlier this year I was like, I like the Rangers, you know? Like they've built a team that's like pretty respectable.
Yeah.
Fuck the Rangers. Fuck you guys.
Hey. Family friendly, Trill.
I hate y'all. And no.
Yeah, this is kind of that. Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing. We were singing their praises about how, this is the prototypical rebuild and things like that. And then you start to realize, okay, guys like Panarin, Tarasenko, Kane, like the Rangers just get gifted them.
Yeah, because they're in New York.
Yeah,
like, who doesn't want to live in New York
and play for the Rangers? Yeah,
yeah. Like it's a no brainer. So like they just get gifted all of these top tier chips.
Yeah.
It's basically like LeBron with the super team trades. Like
it's crazy.
You have a guy that refuses to go anywhere else.
Yeah,
wants to play with his buddies.
Yeah. So I mean, the Blackhawks receive an AHL defenseman and Andy Welinski, conditional 2023 second and a 2025 fourth. Coyotes receive a third round in 2025 for brokering the deal. Rangers will also get Cooper Zach, AHL defenseman, and Coyotes sent Vili Saarijarvi. There's a lot of names I'm gonna have some trouble with today, but we're getting through it. Yeah, this one obviously it's a move where the Blackhawks were a little bit handcuffed, right? Kane told them, "That's where I want to go. Get me there." And so I mean, when the Rangers know Kane wants to go to you and you have to monetize that asset, you're not going to get a ton back.
No,
but I will give the Blackhawks some credit for making it happen, and doing right by their player.
They could have not. They could have just not traded him.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially when we get down the road here, we're going to talk about Jonathan Quick and how some organizations treat their legends.
Yep, and it's not great.
Yeah,
TLDR.
So, I'll shoot the Hawks some bail for that return.
Very fair. Yeah, I'll shoot them some bail there too. I don't necessarily hate what they did. I give it a B. Like, you're stuck.
Yeah, and for the Rangers, obviously that's an A for them. I mean, he's Patrick Kane, and you got him for a second, a fourth, and a nobody.
Yeah, I mean it's an A, but it's an A with an asterisk because you were literally gifted it. You didn't have to try.
Yeah, like, A with an asterisk for sure. All right, next up we got the Maple Leafs acquiring Jake McCabe.
I love it.
Yeah, that's another big move for them after they already made a splash with the Ryan O'Reilly move. They go out and acquire Jake McCabe, Lafferty, a 2024 conditional 5th round pick, and a 2025 conditional 5th round pick from the Chicago Blackhawks for a conditional 1st round pick in 2025, a 2026 2nd round pick, Joey Anderson, and Pavel Gogolev. What do you think?
I love it. We were talking about the Leafs and their need to do something this year.
Yep.
Dubas really is hitting the gas here. He's committing entirely to the team that he's built around.
Yep.
And I love it. I love all the pieces that they're adding. Everything that we said, it's your job as a GM to identify the weakness last year and come into this year with something better.
Mm-hmm.
He's done that beautifully.
Has he ever?
He's adapted with the injuries beautifully.
Yeah.
Like that Muzzin injury was huge. The fact that he was able to not only add McCabe, we'll get to Shen as well, but it's worth being in the same breath here.
For sure.
Finding those gaps and realizing what you need to do and making it work with what you have without like entirely blowing what you have.
Yeah, 100%.
The Leafs have been paying a lot, but they still have a little bit left in the tank as far as picks and prospects. Well, they're not out to lunch.
They're kind of like the Devils here, where they've gone all in without dealing their highest tiered prospect.
Exactly. And
good for them.
You can't ask for anything better as a Leafs fan, honestly.
No, you got it. You got to go for it.
Yeah, and I love. We'll get to some of those other trades. I'm sure it's later on down the list, but the Leafs I have so much praise to sing for them with every move that they've made so far. I give this an A.
We'll see how they gel, but like this genuinely might be the best Leafs team I've seen in my lifetime.
Very fair.
Yeah.
And McCabe just adds so much to what the Leafs need. He gives a clean breakout. His passes are beautiful. He knows when to make the safe play and just get it out of the zone. He understands that there's such thing as losing possession in a good way. Like
Yeah.
he takes the sacrifice in a good way. I've seen some plays that could be broken up and go in his own net, but instead he just swallows his pride, banks it off the board, gets it out of the zone, and makes the other team regroup outside.
Yeah. A for the Leafs?
Yeah, A for the Leafs. And I'm gonna give it A to the Hawks as well, because they were really handcuffed on this one as well. McCabe also has those NTCs.
Yep. And you like, honestly, most transactions where you're sending away a not first line or first caliber player and you're receiving first round picks is almost always going to be an A for me. It's always the right move to make.
Absolutely. And the fact that McCabe was
A on both ends for me.
And McCabe was so hard to move. Like we were talking about how he had a huge no trade list, and almost all of it was regarding Canada.
Yeah.
So the fact that they were even able to have a conversation with him, potentially change some of those teams as they move forward and make it happen. Excellent. Yeah. Excellent asset management.
All right, next up, we got the Carolina Hurricanes acquiring Jesse Puljujarvi from the Edmonton Oilers for Patrick Puistola.
I love it.
Yep, I think it's a fair move.
Fair move indeed. Well, okay, I'm going to give the Oilers a big, fat D.
Okay.
I was going to say F, but like, I don't know. They got something back for it at least.
They
it wasn't a
monetized
waiver
them.
release,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
This is a trade that should have happened 2 years ago, and you could have gotten a first for it if you did it 2 years ago, but instead you decided to sit on your hands and just throw the guy under the bus as a black sheep in the locker room.
Yeah, things have become so sour in Edmonton with Jesse Puljujarvi, and that's been really just unfortunate to watch. So I'm glad he's getting a shot here with a good team, and this is kind of put up or shut up for him.
Absolutely. This is what I was talking about just a few pods ago.
Yeah.
Like, if you put this guy on a competent team and give him a decent shot at proving himself again with a different system, it could happen. He could be that guy still.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to give Edmonton a D there. For the Hurricanes, yeah, I'll give them a C plus just because, like, it's just fine to me. Like, it's you're adding some cap commitments and you're taking a flyer on a guy that's had a really rough go. It's a decent enough move, but I don't think it's an amazing move from them.
No, absolutely. And I think that I would also have to agree with giving the Hurricanes maybe even a C on this.
Yeah, it's just fine.
It's fine, but more so in the context of what the Hurricanes truly need.
Yeah.
Going into this deadline, and also what they did after this in the deadline.
Right.
It's not what you need.
Yeah, it's definitely not what they. Yeah, it's not the big piece they needed.
No, it's not going to swing the pendulum the way that they think it's going to. I don't think. Like, you didn't need one more bottom six piece to put you over the cusp. You needed one more top six. Winger.
Yeah.
And it's just not there right now. So,
yeah. All right, let's move on. The Capitals acquire Rasmus Sandin from the Maple Leafs for Eric Gustafsson and a 2023 first.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I don't mind this move from the Leafs that have been trading a lot of picks. And, I mean, obviously we said who really cares. But Sandin's a guy that is young with a lot of upside, and they're not going to be able to pay him. And he's not really doing the best in their lineup either. So you monetize the asset before it just becomes a problem for you, and take a first round pick from a team that's kind of flailing right now.
Yeah, I love it. And this was also something I was talking about when we were talking about the Leafs earlier, and they're not selling the whole farm. Like,
no.
They're very aware of what they're sending out the door to bolster the roster right now.
Yeah.
And if they're sending pieces out for roster management, they're making sure that they're getting full return on those pieces, which is so essential.
Absolutely.
A lot of times what you see with teams when they're trying to bolster their lineup like this is that they just start throwing things out the door for future considerations because they just need the roster space.
Yeah.
And everyone knows that, so no one's willing to pay it.
Right.
The Leafs did a great job of managing their roster space, managing their LTIR, managing everything that they have going into this deadline so that they were both able to bring in something while holding enough leverage to take a first on this.
Yeah.
I think it's a great move for the Caps as well. This is a team that needs to rebuild. They're looking a little weak on like all of their tenured D-men are going out the door.
Yeah.
So
and
you're
I mean,
gonna need it.
Losing a first is really tough for a team that's in the position the Capitals are, but getting a 22-year-old defenseman that could be there long term for you, that's not a bad consolation for that.
No, especially considering this guy hasn't had the most groundbreaking or like media sweeping of seasons or careers to begin with. You can probably get him on term, which is what a lot of teams are looking for right now.
Yeah.
You could probably get him for a good term deal.
Yeah, buy low on these guys. That's the way to do it when it comes to, young players in coveted positions. Buy low. Don't wait till they have a great year at 25 years old and then pay a ridiculous price for them when they're about to cost a ton of money and a ton of assets. I think it's a good move for the Capitals. I'd give them a B on it.
Yep, I'm with that. I give him I give him an A even.
An A?
No, actually, that first kind of sucks. I'll move it down to a B. If it was a second, then yeah, but B for sure. And the Leafs, I'm gonna give them an A.
Love it. I'll give them an A as well. Alrighty, what do we got next? The Islanders acquire Engvall. Pierre Engvall from the Leafs for a 2024 third. Not much to talk about here. I just thought it was funny that Pierre Engvall is just the most Lou Lamoriello player I've ever seen in my life, and the Islanders are trading more picks away for guys that are going to boost them right now. What a mess.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was like, is this the move we really need to be making?
Yeah, dude.
Your first line center just went out for like 4 to 6 weeks, and you're going to do this?
For the Leafs, what an active deadline for them. Holy cow. I mean, I don't want to sing their praises too much. I'm going to get called a Leafs fan, but I mean, it's a good move for them. They move out a guy that hasn't been moving the needle too much for them. They get a 3rd round pick for him from a team that you're kind of banking on to fall off next year. I'll give them a B for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna give a solid B to Toronto. Yeah. I really like the fact that they're able to identify what's not helping them and still just move it for something.
Yeah, totally.
That's excellent. And especially considering what they've already brought in, there's no room for Engvall, really.
No.
So the fact they were able to move him, get something back, and still maintain leverage, like I said,
yeah,
great bargaining. Islanders, D.
D.
Lou, what are you doing?
D.
You suck.
Yeah, Lou, you're senile and old. Just stop, buddy. You're just ruining that poor fan base. I mean, they're Islanders fans, but still.
Shoot him something.
Yeah. Okay, more Leafs talk. Yeah, they acquire Luke Schenn as well from the Canucks for a 2023 3rd round pick. Another great pickup.
Fantastic pickup.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what do you want? He's a stay-at-home guy, big physical, cup-winning pedigree, making what, $1 million? $850K. What more could you want?
No, this is another great signing. This is another great trade by Dubas just to get this guy in there. It's a wonderfully, wonderfully cap-controlled acquisition.
Yeah.
The stuff he adds just alone to the team in the locker room, just with his veteran presence of cup pedigree, like, where can you go wrong?
Yeah.
That's the type of players that I feel that they've been lacking for a while, too, is the guy that's been there, you know?
Yeah.
Because you see the Leafs go under so much like scrutiny, especially when the heat gets turned up in the playoffs, and it's because they don't really have anyone to calm down the room and be like, boys, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. We will get this.
Yeah.
You know? So I really like it, and I give the Leafs an A again.
Yeah, I'll give them an A as well. I'll give the Canucks a B for this one. Just because it was like, it's a good move. Sure, you drop a guy for a 3rd round pick. That's fine, but it wasn't a home run. It was kind of you had to do it, and in a year where a lot of pieces got 1st round picks, getting only a 3rd is a little bit disappointing. So I'll give them a B.
Yeah, I actually wanted to give them a C+ on this because I heard Tampa was heavily interested in Schenn, and they were looking at paying more than a 3rd.
Well, yeah, but I think that probably went out the door when Jeannot happened.
Yeah, see, but like that's more like my confusion is that this Schenn Tampa talk had been happening allegedly for up to a month.
Yeah.
This wasn't something new. So if you had that kind of an offer already out there and you're just pussyfooting around the idea of doing it and being like, oh, we'll wait because we'll get better. We'll wait until we get better. like this is kind of like the Coyotes all over again, where it's like sitting on Chychrun for so long that it's like you could have had 2 firsts, now you have a second and a fourth.
Yeah, I think this deadline's a little bit harder to grade that way though, just with how early everything was done. It was a weird deadline that way.
Yeah, there's a lot of GMs that were just left out in the dark too, like, and a lot of weird politicking.
Yeah, that's the NHL, baby.
I haven't seen so much like weird posturing and passive aggressive like memos put out by GMs and presidents in a long time.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Like rumors that are going out that are being heavily confirmed, that are being denied, that are being reinforced, but from every which way, and it's like, my God, it's a
lot.
When did the NHL turn into high school?
Yeah. All right, moving on. The Oilers acquired Mattias Ekholm and a 2024 sixth from the Nashville Predators for Tyson Barrie, Reed Schaefer, a 2023 first-round pick, and a 2024 fourth-round pick. Whew.
I like it.
I like it too.
I don't have a lot of mean things to say about a lot of these trades, honestly. I think a lot of the GMs are really, really cooking.
Oh yeah, some of these GMs were cooking this year for sure. I mean, Ekholm, you get him cost controlled for 3 more years, 6.25 over the course of the next 3 years, which is pretty much the length of McDavid's contract here. Tyson Barrie going back, he hasn't really worked out as well in Edmonton. I mean, he's been fine, but he's not on Ekholm's level. And then, you throw in a first. I mean, this is a move I think it just makes sense for both teams.
Yeah, Tyson Barrie is not a person that I would put any stock in relying on in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I just think he's one of those guys that collapses under himself anytime the pressure's there. I hold him, sorry, Leafs fans, but much in the same place as Morgan Riley. I just don't see them as the pressure players I want on the ice in the last 2 minutes with like a goal on the line.
Yeah.
You know?
Whereas Ekholm, I think, is that guy.
He is that guy, and he has that pedigree too. He's been around with the Preds since the Preds had success.
Yeah.
Like he hasn't just been there since they sucked.
No, for sure. Yeah, I would give the Oilers I'll give them a B on this one. I think it makes a lot of sense for them. I think it's a little weird to send a roster player like Barrie back when you have so many deep problems already in Edmonton. So that's kind of what holds it to a B for me. But overall, I like it.
Yeah, I give Edmonton an A on this, honestly.
Yeah.
I think that Barrie was a lot of their defensive problems. I just don't think he fits exactly what they're trying to do, and it was leading to more issues than benefits. Yeah. Not that he's a terrible player by any standard. It's just not working there.
Yeah.
So I think that if they're able to do a 1-for-1 swap and it allows them to, again, keep some of that cost down, that's excellent. It looks like they were probably paying for some of that cost to be kept down with the roster move with one of these picks or prospects. Schaefer's not a bad piece to pick up if you're Nashville either. He's got some potential.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I give Nashville a solid A on this as well. They're not going to do anything with Ekholm while he's here.
Nope, Nashville's getting an A for me as well. Yeah, you're trading a guy like Ekholm who's he's not helping your team, right? Like, I mean, he is because he's a good player, but like not right now. You don't need it, so you get a first round pick for him. That's a dub.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, now the Jonathan Quick saga.
Oh, poor guy.
So the Kings acquire Vladislav Gavrikov and Jonas Korpisalo from the Columbus Blue Jackets for Jonathan Quick, conditional 2023 first-round pick and a 2024 third-round pick. So the Kings wanted to acquire those two players, Gavrikov and Korpisalo. Columbus, LA obviously needed to make the money work. So they send Jonathan Quick back without a phone call his way, a message to anyone,
a text, like
just a brutal treatment of the greatest goalie in your franchise's history.
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about honoring legends. You just put up a statue for Dustin Brown.
Yeah, you did.
But you can't go out of your way to call the guy that's still playing under your organization and be like, hey, buddy, I'm so sorry, but this actually has to happen. Like, you can't even afford to give the guy a call.
It's terrible. It's terrible. I mean, we were saying, you look around the league and every contract these days has a no trade clause, no move clause. And a lot of people ask about it and go, why is that the norm now? You got to be able to trade these guys. And, well, these players push for that because of things like this.
Yeah, this is horse.
It's brutal.
Yeah, you're talking about a guy who has, like, he's hurt. He's probably playing his last year.
Yeah.
Realistically.
Year 10 of 10 of that contract.
Yeah, like, I doubt he's going to re-sign at age 38 with the type of issues he's having, the type of season he's had.
Yeah.
Just let him retire in grace.
Yeah. 100%. And I know Jonathan Quick hasn't been Jonathan Quick the last few years, but in that Edmonton series last year, he was huge for them at times.
Hey, he still played great. Like, he was the Quick of old.
Yeah, give me a Vegas LA series now with Quick stealing some games. I want to see it.
I would love that. And you know what? It's not entirely out of the question either with Adin Hill.
No.
He's not been playing fantastic. Thompson's still questionably out.
Yep.
So
yeah, that we actually skipped ahead on that. Vegas then acquires Jonathan Quick from the Blue Jackets for Michael Hutchinson and a 2025 7th.
shout out the Knights for stepping in on this. Like, it's not too often that I'll praise the Knights for treating players well or giving like any sort of benefit to them. But
hey, man, yeah, it's a good pickup for them. Yeah, because they have so many goaltending issues. So wait, you don't have to write these all down, Austin, but I'm gonna give LA an F. just out of pure disdain for the way they did that, even though the move might help them on paper. I'm gonna give Columbus a B because they got a first out of it, and I'm gonna give Vegas an A. Don't have to write the Vegas one. Yeah. All right.
Nice. I'm going to give LA a D. Because I hate how they handled this. I hate the fact that, like, I understand if you did have to move them, period. Like, it's a business at the end of the day, but you could have called them. You could have like had a conversation going into it, and been like, "Dude, this is going to happen. Don't be surprised. I'm really sorry."
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't.
Nope.
And that's just disgraceful.
Yep.
However, I like Korpisalo as a player, and Gavrikov was looking to be moved for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that they were able to acquire him and, you know, maintain a good portion of their assets, given that they're still in a rebuild stage.
Yep.
If they didn't treat Quick like that, I would have given this an A.
Yeah.
Because I really like the pieces they got, and I really like how little they had to really send out for it.
Right.
And as far as Columbus, I don't know. I give them a B.
All right, let's move on to the next one here. What do we have next? Avalanche acquire Lars Eller. This is a quick one here. I think it's a nice little move for the Avalanche.
Yeah, nice move. I like it. I don't think it's going to really put them over the edge, but I understand the necessity for it.
Yeah, I would have thought the Avalanche would do a little bit more on, to be honest, but it's a nice move for them. It's fine.
Well, and if we're gonna like really get to the nitty gritty of it, Darren Helm is potentially like just toast, done for the season.
Yeah.
Career ended.
Yeah.
He's dealing with some serious injuries, only played 8 games this season. So
Mm-hmm.
it sounds like going into this playoffs, he's confirmed that this is his last season and he is done.
Yeah.
So he's not coming back. They need something else. It makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And a 2025 second round pick going back to the Capitals. Stacking some assets there. I'm going to give both these teams a B for this.
Yeah, and it's a player with a pedigree of a cup. So yeah. I'm gonna give it a B across the board.
Okay. Next up, we have a trade from the Vancouver Canucks. And like I'm glad when this first broke, I was glad that I had a couple days before the podcast.
Yeah,
because I was livid. Like I couldn't understand what was going on. So the Canucks acquired Filip Hronek and a 2023 4th round pick from the Detroit Red Wings for a 2023 conditional 1st round pick and a 2023 2nd round pick. And now it's been 3 days, and I still have no idea what this organization is thinking. I mean, I do know what they're thinking. Actually, that's a lie. I know what they're thinking. They're just thinking stupidly. They think they can turn this around next year. Patrick Alvin said as much when he talked about it in the presser he put on about this. They've now opened themselves a 1-year window where this guy's contract expires next year. So does Beauvillier's, and so does Elias Pettersson's. You've put yourself into a 1-year window. You've given yourself a 1-year window for next year. You're 27th in the league.
Yeah, good luck.
What?
And keep in mind, these are picks that you just got.
We just acquired that pick for Bo Horvat, yeah.
Who is your locker room dude. The guy.
The captain of the team.
And you got a poor return for it. And then on top of that, you went and sold that return for a player that expires next year, that's at 4-4, that's playing over his expectations this season. Don't get me wrong. And hey, I've talked a lot of shit about Filip Hronek lately. I'm sorry. It's not his fault.
He's a good player.
He's a good player.
We should preface it with that. He is a good player, yes.
In the context of this trade, when you're drawing parallels to basically like, it's nowhere close. The value is nowhere close.
There's a standard in the NHL, right? The teams that are in the playoff push sell their draft picks to the bottom feeders, and the bottom feeders sell their assets for the draft picks, right?
Absolutely.
Bottom teams sell their assets for draft picks. And now we're in a situation where the Canucks are 27th in the NHL, trading their draft picks for assets to help them next year.
It doesn't make sense.
What the fuck is going on? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
Yeah.
Dude, it's mind-boggling. The Canucks have more cap committed next year than any team in the National Hockey League.
Yeah, and
27th in the NHL.
And let's not act like there isn't a handful of above war defensemen on free agency that you can sign for less than $1 million. If you guys truly committed to just doing a rebuild and signing some guys for the sake of just having players out there while you collected your picks, you could do that. But not when you do stupid shit like this.
And it's not even like it's not even just that you're trading picks for assets. Like just that alone, if you were trading a 2023 third for a defenseman making $1 million right now, I'd be like, why are you doing that? But you're giving up a first round pick that's probably going to be top 20 from the Islanders and a second round pick that's definitely going to be top 40 in one of the deepest drafts we've seen in a decade. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Oh, the lack of awareness is just astonishing from management.
Boggling.
It looks like someone read the map and then flipped it upside down and then kept reading it. So everything just got lost in translation.
Yep. So the Canucks go for it every year, and clearly it's worked out for the last 3 years. They have like a 300 winning percentage over the last 5 years. They've averaged 26th in the league. So clearly it works really well for them. I'm giving them an F-. God bless this godforsaken team.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm gonna give Detroit a big ol' A.
Yeah, absolutely.
As much as Filip Hronek is a serviceably good player with upside,
he's a good D-man. He's a good D-man.
He's had 2 not great years going into this, and he's just now seeing a resurgence in his play.
Yeah,
this is Yzerman analyzing what he sees in this player's future and going, I don't see much.
Well, maybe, but I also do think he's just smartly selling high.
He just knows that, yeah, he's selling high, and if this is like the ceiling in Yzerman's eyes, that's a bar, then it's a great move. Like, even if he turns into an all-star, which is so unlikely. I really want to preface that he's
not an all-star, but I mean, also at that, all-stars, like, are you really getting only a first and a second for an all-star?
Sometimes.
I think on paper this move makes a lot of sense, just not for the Canucks at all.
No, it makes a ton of sense for the Red Wings. I think it's a beautiful move for them. And
Yeah.
what they took back was a fleece and a half.
Yeah.
Canucks, big fat, I don't know, is there anything less than enough? Yeah, an incomplete.
Yeah, you get a Z. We're going all the way down to the end of the alphabet for that.
Yeah, give them a Z, Austin.
Yeah.
I threw
Garbage.
out their test.
Yeah. I threw it out. Okay. Can we move on from that? God damn.
I'm so over talking about the Canucks this year.
I'm gonna throw up.
They blame the media, yet thrust themselves into the media every third day. It's like, whatever, man.
Moving on. Hurricanes acquire Shane Gostisbehere for a 3rd-round pick. Like that move.
I like it.
Yep. You lose the 3rd, but again, you're kind of in a win now. You're in a win now spot. The Flyers had a garbage deadline, but at least they monetized something. Oh no. Coyotes. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Sure. Whatever.
Yeah, I like it. I give it a B for both sides.
Yep. I agree with that.
It's not like you were going to get too much more for Gostisbehere anywhere else, and it's not like Gostisbehere was really going to go too many other places. And yeah, Carolina needs it. B's.
Okay, and then the big one, the big shoe that dropped, that's been talked about for years. The Ottawa Senators acquire Jacob Chychrun, all for a 2023 conditional first, a 2024 conditional second, and a 2026 second. Oof.
Yeah.
After all the hullabaloo, a month of this guy riding the pine, waiting for the trade, and you get a first and 2 seconds. Meh. Good for the Senators.
Good for the Senators. I really like the way that they're doing this rebuild. I think that whoever comes into ownership of that team is going to be gifted something special.
Yeah. I'm a little worried about how much they bought in this offseason and at this deadline, but I think it's a good move for them. They need the defense. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of what happens with the sale, they still need to have a team that's worth selling.
Yeah.
So I understand the need to be bringing in some talent still.
Right.
I give the Senators a B on this. Like,
same.
It's, you're trading out a couple of picks that I'm sure an owner might want, depending on like their mantra and style. But you're also giving them a really, really solid player with a lot of upside for way less than what he should have got at market value 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I give the Coyotes a D because you should have made this trade 2 years ago and you could have gotten 2 firsts or 3, but you didn't.
I think they could have this year as well. You know, what Friedman and others were saying is that they went to the Senators because the Senators didn't have to retain, the Senators didn't need Arizona to retain to make it work. And if that's not the most backwards thinking, besides whatever's going on in Vancouver. Like, I mean, to have this asset, you guys are so under the cap. You're so bad. You're not going anywhere. Why are you taking worse returns just so that you don't have to retain any money? What a joke. I'm giving them an F for this whole disaster. You don't get the return you should have. Like, I mean, honestly, you almost got what Hronek got.
Truly.
You almost got what McCabe got.
Truly.
What is going on? The desert, you guys suck. Fold the franchise. F.
You know what? Fair. I was being nice with it, but yeah, that's a very fair analysis.
Oh God. Okay. What's next? Yeah, we're gonna fly through the rest of these here. I mean, Coyotes get Voracek.
First sixth.
Voracek probably won't play again. Another addition to the Infinity Stones that are the Coyotes. The Coyotes acquiring players that'll never play for them. I'm gonna give the Coyotes a D on that, and I'm gonna give wait, where's that trade? Yeah, I'm gonna give the Coyotes a D, and I'm gonna give Columbus a C+. Why not?
I'm gonna mirror those. I said it on the live. This trade reminds me, like Voracek in Arizona reminds me of an abandoned Lamborghini in Dubai, just sitting there collecting dust.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
exactly.
Like, oh, that used to be so cool. Anyways,
that used to be so cool. Dallas acquires Domi and Dylan Wells from Chicago for Anton Khudobin. Khudobin. Wow, that took me a second. And 2025 second round pick. Decent little move for Domi. Domi, I don't know. I mean, or a decent little move for Dallas. I mean, Domi, he's a shit disturber. Takes a lot of penalties, but he's, you know what, in a playoff run, might be a guy you want to have. So sure.
I really don't think he's going to help them. I think that this is really, really poor scouting on what they need. I'm not sure if it was the only thing that was available to them, and I don't know why the Stars feel they need to step on the gas right now. It's pretty evident that the West is just only competing for the Western Conference at this point.
I disagree with that. Like, I don't know, man. Coming out of the West, you're playing a team that's gone through the Rangers, Boston, and Tampa or Toronto.
Unless it's one of those teams.
Well, even then, if it's Boston, you're still dealing with a team that's gone through the Rangers and Tampa or the Rangers and Toronto. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that's true. That is true. I just don't see Domi as the clutch player that they need to really bring out the qualities in this team that are not being emphasized right now.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of the Puljujarvi thing with Carolina, where it's like, good job, you added a good player, but was he the good player you needed for this lineup?
Yeah, it's definitely not a needle mover. Like I'd probably give both teams like a C+ on that one. It's just kind of a fine.
Yeah, I give a B to the Chicago Blackhawks because yay monetizing players you aren't going to use, and I give a C to the Stars because I think this is going to be a waste.
Fair enough. The Blues acquire Verana from the Red Wings for Dylan McLaughlin and a 2025 seventh. Clearly, Verana hasn't worked out there. I think that's a nice pickup for the Blues.
Yeah, I think it's a really great pickup, not a lot of risk, and Verana needs another shot somewhere. I'm not too sure what's going on with him. He's been in and out of the league with the players' assistance issues ever since. Yzerman said that he probably played his last game in a Detroit uniform. He never really made it back from the A after he did his conditioning stint. So, I give the Blues a B for just picking up a quality player. It's a solid risk at least. If he doesn't work out, it's only a seventh.
Seventh and basically an AHL tweener. So nice.
I give Detroit a C+.
Okay, the Flyers acquire Brendan Lemieux and a 2024 fifth-round pick from the Kings for Zach McEwen. This one actually I think is a little more interesting than it looks on paper. I think, first of all, it's just Brendan Lemieux in a Flyers jersey just seems right to me. He's such a garbage player. And Zach McEwen, I think Zach McEwen's a big-time player. He's a big body. He plays physical. He plays hard. He fights. That's a guy that I think will fit in very well on the Kings.
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely hate this trade for Philly. God, what an absolutely terrible deadline they had. I'm sure we'll touch on that.
Deadline,
like Chuck Fletcher, what are you doing? Quit already. Just get fired.
I think he's going to. I don't think he's sticking around.
Yeah, Jesus, you're digging your own grave faster than we can even talk about it.
I'm going to give LA an A on that, and I'm going to give, that's funny, and I'm going to give Philly a D.
Yeah, same.
Nemestikov goes to San Jose, and then gets flipped to the Jets for a fourth-round pick. What do we think about that?
D for the Jets. It's not the player that you need. You need to be more aggressive. You don't have it. You don't have it right now.
Nah.
He's not a top 6 player. You needed a top 6 player. You didn't go out and get the top 6 player. Going out and getting a bottom 6 player that's absolutely not met his potential since he was playing on the Bolts. Spare me. Big snooze.
I mean, you get him for a next year's fourth, though. I don't mind that.
I don't mind it.
I'd give the Jets like a C+ on that because it's not a needle mover, but it's also they also didn't spend anything really on him.
Yeah, I mean, he's a big body. I understand their need to have a little bit more physicality, so I guess I could give them a C at best for it. But even then, it's still it's not what they need in context to what the team's looking like.
Yeah, and I'm gonna give San Jose a B. They've had a good they had a good deadline.
Yeah, I think a lot of my grading is contingent on the awareness of the team.
Yeah,
and what else was available on the market. So
quickly, the Penguins acquire Nick Bonino again,
bringing the band
back to it.
Absolutely,
yeah, that's awesome. I mean, nothing really going back. Tony Sand, another guy, Nick Bonino, that Pittsburgh's acquiring, that's 35 years old, or 34 years old. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Good for you, Pittsburgh. You're getting the band back together. I think it's fun. Sure, I'll give them a B for it. Why not?
Give them a D because they're like, what are you doing?
I know. Yeah, that like if I'm thinking about it logically, I don't know what they're doing either.
Team
but-
full of relics.
And then the Sharks. I mean, I'll give them a C on that one.
Yeah, I don't have
It's
much
not
on
bad,
Sun,
but it's
so
not good either.
C plus.
Sabres acquired Greenway. That's a nice little pickup, even though Greenway's advanced stats have been truly horrendous. Truly horrendous. Send a second and a pick going back. I think the Sabres are a team that could use that kind of guy. Not too shabby.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, again, that's a guy that just has the type of grit that they need right now. You look at how small some of their players are, how quick and small they've built the team on the front end. I think this is just a really great bumping and banging dude that will make it really tough to play against the third line.
Yeah, I'll give the Sabres a B on that. I think that's a good move for them, and I think I'll give the Wild a B on that as well. I think they got a decent amount of value for him.
Yeah, I give both teams a B. I understand that Guerin was trying to move Greenway for a while. It's really hard to get a lot back for a player when you're trying to move them for a while and so publicly. So I think that he did a really good job getting what the value was.
Yeah.
And I think that the Sabres do need a player like this. I'm not sure if this is the year they need it, but yeah, he's just a player that's going to be adding a little bit for him, and I don't hate it at all. I think that they do need that toughness down the road, so.
Alrighty, and the last one we got here, Minnesota Wild acquired John Klingberg from the Anaheim Ducks for Andre Schuster, Nikita Nesterenko, and a 2025 fourth-round pick. Yeah. I mean, Klingberg is a guy that the Ducks acquired likely with the intent to flip in the first place. He's been pretty awful in Anaheim. The worst defenseman, the worst defensive play on the worst defensive team in the NHL. Ouch. But I mean, he can still put up some points for you. They monetize him. They get some couple players on a pick. Sure.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm not really sure if we can like hold all of his failures with the Ducks just on him. That has a lot to do with the Ducks just being terrible in their own right.
They're awful. They're
Like,
awful.
It's hard to play inspired hockey in California with a team that doesn't give a shit.
You know, absolutely. But I mean, I do kind of think too that he was already over the hill in at the end of the Dallas tenure there.
Yeah. I think that he was already like a little bit overvalued when he moved to the Ducks, but that's neither here nor there.
Mm-hmm.
I give the Wild a B
Yeah.
because it's just another aged defenseman
Yeah.
that was good and
Yeah.
will probably not be as good.
Mm-hmm.
And I give the Ducks a B plus because they actually got some pieces back.
Yep. I agree with both of those. Okay, so I think that's pretty much everything, my man.
Yeah, that was a
Wow.
lot to talk about. Holy Christ.
We don't have any clips next for this week. We have a whole lot of clips for next week. Let's do them then.
Super exciting. Love it.
We got a whole bunch of merch just came out. We got some hats. I'm rocking the hat right now. Trill's got the hoodie. Got to shoot some bail on the back. We got some mugs, just like the ones we have here on the set. You can find all of it at sticktalkhockey.square.site. That'll be linked in the description, so check that out.
Hoodies are super cozy, come in a bunch
They
of
are.
different colors. I'm rocking
Yeah.
the like maroon. It's super dope.
Yeah.
It's got this like really nice little like design on the back. Shoot some bail.
That's what we do, man. We shoot bail.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we're an understanding group here.
We're an understanding group over at TikTok.
Yeah.
So, make sure you drop by, check it out, see what we got. And thanks for stopping in every week as per usual. And
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for everyone that stopped by on the live, was dropping, interacting. Thank you for tuning into the podcast. I'm sure some of you have come and checked this one out after the fact. So welcome to the Stick Talk family. I was going to say welcome to the podcast family, but y'all probably aren't podcasting. So welcome to the Stick Talk fam. We're out here every Sunday recording for your listening pleasure on the Mondays, Tuesdays, and videos Wednesdays. Yes, sir.
sticktalkhockey.square.site. That'll be linked in the description.
Bang snap. Have a blessed week.
Yeah.
Keep your head up.
Keep your head up.
Stick talk. Stick talk. Stick talk. Stick